Well, good afternoon from Azelda's Legacy. Sorry for my sleepy face, the fact that I'm laying in bed, and my messy hair. I am getting ready to go to bed. Of course, y'all have seen me out working and looking pretty scruffy if you've watched many of these videos. But, at any rate, I am on my way to sleep because I have to work tonight. But we had not done a chicken video from here to Zelda's Legacy for a while. Had some pieces of chick video and incubation video, so I thought I'd throw them together and let them upload while I sleep. One thing I think I forgot to say, looking at the eggs in the incubator, with darker shelled eggs, you wait till 7th or 8th day in order to try to candle them. And then we had just gotten off track and didn't get them candled until the 9th day, and then this was rechecking a couple of them on the 10th day, just mostly to be able to video them, and because I had a couple that I wasn't quite sure of. So, at any rate, that's all in there, but that was 10th day that we were looking at on those eggs, and basically had a pretty good idea about them because we had candled on the 9th day. So, there you have it. Enjoy the video. Good night. So this is the goal of incubating. Now these guys are store-boughts and they are 4 weeks old tomorrow. Born the 17th of March. Ours will predominantly be red chicks, whatever we come up with. Messy little children. We may have a few that are black or the gray and white speckled from the barred rock rooster. We'll just have to see. But at any rate, this is the goal of incubating and waiting and watching and looking at all the details and trying to make everything work right. So what we were doing is rechecking eggs that we did last night. And if you can see a little bit of difference towards, okay, yeah, you do the pointing.
Let's see if I can do it without, okay. See that darkness there?
That would be the chick.
That would be the chick. And
this lighter end is just some of the white.
Yeah.
Can't really see the difference.
The glare you might bring there.
Can't really see the difference of where the air sac is right now. It should be at the opposite end of where that light patch is. That light patch is the pointy end. So I'm going to do another one that's a good egg. That's one of Murray. We're pretty darn good. So when I'm saying good egg, we're talking about fertile and nothing showing wrong with it. I'm trying to ease another one out of that back row, and that's kind of hard to get to, but I know there's some good ones back there. Yeah, this one I think is almost better.
I'm just trying to watch because you're getting glare.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna bring my hand up.
It's really dark right here.
Really dark there. Solidly looking at a chick growing there, but you can see just a hair bit of light space at this end.
I'm pointing right over there.
And then the other end you can see. This is the
pointy end right there.
Yep.
Oops.
So this pointy end is just still egg white, which, when you first crack an egg, that looks clear. That's on your chart, that would be your albumin. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see a very distinct line right here where that air sac is. So those are good eggs. Now I'll see we've got a couple of eggs that we questioned, and we've got some eggs that were infertile. So fertile is, there is a baby growing in.
Are you done with that one?
What's that?
Are you done with that? You probably should close it.
Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and do the eggs in there that were questionable. And then we'll look at some that are just flat down infertile. I just thought it would be good to show one right against the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 were questionable. Okay, so that should be the right dates. 26. Yes. Okay, so yesterday I kind of questioned this one. I think that one may have what's called a blood ring. Yeah, I'm seeing it real clearly. You can see a dark band here. Well, I hope you can see it on the video.
I'm seeing it.
Okay, so there's a dark band here rather than this being solid. I mean, it's dark, but this dark band is what's called a blood ring. Something did not develop right in there, and that has nothing to do with incubation. It's just like your infertile eggs. Now, you can see a good clear air sac there, but this is not the rounded, I mean, it kind of looks like a blob on those, but it's not the rounded form of a baby chicken growing in there. There's just, this didn't form right. It did not make a baby. And it's nothing that was done wrong in the incubating. It's something that happened before the chick really formed. Things just did not come together right for a chick to actually form. We've got one more that didn't look quite right that I'm going to pull out of there. I think it was just one more. So we'll take a look here. Okay, this one. This is an infertile egg. I kind of hesitated yesterday because it's a little cloudier than some of the other infertile eggs. But you see how you can see light coming clear through and the speckling of the egg? There's no chick forming in that. So that's just an egg. If we hadn't already started heating it for a few days, we could just go ahead and eat it. But after it's been heated for a few days, I probably wouldn't. Might feed it to a cat or something. And then just for comparison's sake, I'm just going to randomly pick up another egg that we knew was fertile. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
That's from a different hen.
Well, hold it up. There you go.
That's from a different hen. I'll have to
Very
look
dark.
and see who.
That's very dark.
Yeah, that's very dark, but yet you can see the lightness here, and you can definitely see the lightness there. So that's a normal chick forming, and that is from Bricktop. So that's one of my old hens that we didn't get very many eggs from, and we didn't have a clue whether they would go fertile on us or not. But that's a fertile egg, and I think...
Are we done?
I think we are done with the video because I just had a couple of eggs to pull out of there. We did pull half a dozen eggs out of there yesterday when we were doing our initial candling, and those were all infertile eggs except for one. There were 5 infertile eggs and 1 egg that had developed cracks for some reason. So our little incubator is perking along, doing just fine, and we've got about a 80% fertility rate so far. So there you go. That's our candling story for today.
Adios.
So this is where we charted all of that. And these are the 2 that we looked at in tonight's video. This one, I had thought when we candled it that there was a blood ring. We candled everything this on the 11th. And then we went back and looked at that again, and it had become a very distinct ring around there. And then this one, like I said, it was a little cloudier than some of the other infertile eggs, but you definitely could see the light coming through it tonight. And of course you can see where we marked off some of our others that we had found to be infertile, marked them off on the 11th. And then there's other things that you can mark down here as you get further into it. But this right here is the beginnings of sorting out the eggs that were infertile and the eggs that were culled for other reasons. Obviously, if they're infertile, you're going to cull them also. So there you go. These are our store-bought chicks. They are black sex lynx. May have got that in a previous video piece, depends on what you're watching. But at any rate, they are getting to be a few weeks old, and I recall that Grandma always introduced a little bit of dirt and grass to them early on. So I've been doing that these last few days, and they're just going to town on it. Got a little bit of grit and oyster shell down there in the bottom of it. So they're all excited. And little mister, I believe he's a rooster, is saying, hey, well, I've got a chance. I'm going to go over here and commandeer the feed bowl. Anyway, there you go. Our lovely hoodens, Bertha and Kneedler, have been, that's Bertha over there, that's Kneedler. I had to trim their feathers back so they could actually see. They get so fluffy that you can't even see their eyes. Kind of like Jubal, Charlie's dog. So, at any rate, they've been outside enjoying the freedom of a little outdoor pen. And again, depending on what videos the body has watched, you may already know this, but Kneedler has a sore place on her foot that I've been doctoring, and that's why they're off in here separately. So they don't do as well alone. They really like hanging out together. So when I brought Kneedler in, I brought Bertha in. So they just discovered that I had put feed in their bowl while they were outside having other feed. So, okay, enough of that. That's all for now. Goodbye and have yourselves a blessed day from Azelda's Legacy.